Alright, I'll show you where I'm at so far. Just clean that up some. And so I moved to the, before I start putting in the tank and everything else, I'm going to pull this off. And so I've attached new hoses to it. And these hoses are thicker than the hoses that were on it. So probably overkill. But I lost one of the little metal clamps, but when I put this on, it didn't really apply any pressure. These, like I said, these are thicker, so I could easily pull the hose off of this. So I went ahead and put a little small zip tie on it. Since I didn't have the metal clamp over here, I just put 2 zip ties on it and reinforced the main one. So I put a much larger zip tie on it because this I could actually just spin it around and could move this old tie up and down. So anyway, I don't want this coming off. And so what I've started doing, you see a little bit of oil. I need to make something to spin this counterclockwise, but doing that is what I just did a little bit, and that will send the oil out, I guess, prime it. But I saw someone on YouTube or somewhere who made a little contraption, put it to their drill, and did that. So I may do something like that, and just to get it out, so I don't have to run it that long. I don't know how long it takes once I hook it up, turn the engine on, for it to suck the oil, but I'm going to help it out anyway. So I'm going to do that first. Work on this a little bit, and then I'm going to put that back in the engine, because once I put the tank back in, there's not going to be a lot of room back there. And I also found out this was not the fuel filter. It's the water separator that was so difficult in getting off, and finally I got it off and had to put it in the vise just to work it loose. So I cleaned that up. It's ready to go back on, and so I think that'll probably be one of the last things that I put back, simply because so I can keep as much room as I can when I slide that tank back in. So I'm getting closer. That's about it, I believe, is to get this oil pump back on. And obviously I'm going to have to reconnect the handlebars and get all of that fastened down, but that'll come at the end last, as well, as I'm going to put the tank in first. As I said, I took this off because of this, if you can see it, I don't know, because of the contrast, but I guess a vent hose, there was no flexibility. It's a hard plastic. It was coming way down here, and that was what made it really difficult getting the tank out. So with this raised up out of the way, this one here is just very flimsy. So that gives me at least another 3-4 inches of room to slide that tank in there. So I'm hoping that's gonna do the trick there. So all right, I will bring it back in a little bit. I just didn't figure you wanted to sit and watch just this little tedious type of work. I'll bring you in as I get things done. I'll show you what I've done, and all the way to getting the tank in. Okay, I'm back, and I've got the tank back in, and actually wasn't too difficult getting it back in. Just removed should have removed these when I was taking it out. That's what I should have done. Putting it back in, this was keeping it from just sliding back into its place there. So I removed the strap holder, I don't know what you call it, brace for the tank straps to hold it into place, and took that out, and it slid right in there. Just had to put it in on its side, and then once it in here, I could put it get it sitting upright. But anyway, got it in. Wasn't as hard as it was taking out, so that's good. And so now I'm going to start bolting down the top of this jet ski, get the handlebars back on. The only thing now I have to wait is the last hose that I had to put new fuel line on here, and broke this fuel filter trying to get the fuel line off. So anyway, so now I've just had to order another fuel line filter, if that's what it's called. Anyway, so we'll see when that comes in, and that'll be it. I'll get that changed out, and then the only thing left is to a couple of hoses in here to the carburetors, and then I've got a rebuild kit, and I'm going to rebuild the carburetor hopefully during this week, and I'm hoping to have this thing done by next weekend, have it running, and can put it aside and start on the other one and get that one going. So far I do have bolts here. I'll show you. This looks pretty bad. Took this off. As you can see, the rust. I don't know if it works or not. We'll find out. But from the looks of that, I would say it doesn't look like it's in running condition. And so I don't know. We'll find out once we get it running and see if it works. Obviously, it's getting moisture in it, so I may do the same. Put a gasket. It's got the gasket here, but I may go ahead and put a gasket maker around it to seal it off. And hopefully it just looks bad and still operates. If not, I think I'm just going to set the set it manually in the back and just lock it into place. I mean, it's really don't need the tilt that much. One of the other jet skis that I have that runs don't do enough with it, I guess, and mainly for my kids or whatever. Really don't need that, so I'll just set it, lock it in, and just keep it at that, unless I could find a good price on a used one. Okay, I'll stop there. I'm going to start bolting this down, putting it back in place, get the handlebars back on, and just wait for the fuel filter to come in.